today what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through the Groove Pages app and show you how to build a page or a website very quickly with Groove Pages. The first thing you'll notice when you log in is a list of the current websites that you have here. I just have one right now. Over here is where you'll be able to click to go through our different apps. Right now it's just Groove Pages and Groove Sell. I'm going to close that. In the top right is where you'll find things about your account, and this burger menu will have more information once you're actually in a site that's related to the website or the page. Furthermore, when you have a lot of websites, it will be easier to find your sites using the advanced filter here. You can search by pages, the name, the creation date, the last date that it was uploaded, and any particular name information that you put here in the search field. But let's jump right in and let's start building a website. Okay, so I'm going to click New Site, and I want you to take a look right here because I want to describe what's going to be here in the future. Of course, you can always build a blank template from scratch, and that's what we're going to be doing today. But I want you to picture here where you're going to see a couple of different tabs. One is going to say Pages, another one is going to say Websites, and another one will say Funnels. So if you're looking to build funnels, you'll click on a tab here that would say Funnels, and you'll get all different types of funnels, like webinar funnels, product launch funnels, book funnels, tripwire funnels, landing page funnels, and list building funnels, and things like that. So that would be funnels. So you can imagine things like health and wellness, or real estate, or different types of niche websites that are fully built out, sort of like you remember back in the days of WordPress when you had About Us page, contact page, media, home pages, different things like that. Then over here, like I said, there'll be a tab that says Pages, and that's like if you're looking for your one-pagers, things like a 404 page or a one-page event page or something like that. But let's jump right in, click on Blank Template, and let's start building a site from scratch. And we're going to show you how easy this is. Okay, and as you can see, it's a little bit empty here. This is our palette, as you can see what our website is going to look like. And we haven't put anything on there just yet, but I just want to walk you around the interface right here. Up to the top left, this shows you what page you're in your home page, and I'm going to show you how you add pages in just a minute. We have something called Expert Mode, which I'm leaving on, and I'll explain that when our palette shows up with our style editor and our functionality. This right here is a preview of how your site's going to look like on a desktop, a laptop, an iPad, or a mobile phone. I'll show that later when we actually have a website here. These features I'll go over while we're building our website. This is where you'll find information to publish your website. And finally is this menu right here. And the one thing I want to go over right now, we can come back to some of these things later, is your site settings. This is where you're going to want to start first. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to name our site. And for right now, I'm just going to call this my demo site. The next thing you're going to want to do is load up a favicon. That is what shows up in your browser tab. That looks something like this, where you see these little icons that represent your brand here in the browser. And you would just have your designer make you a favicon. It's usually a square or a round image. And once that's on your hard drive, you would just come here and click Browse and find it on your hard drive and load it up. Next here is code that you would want on every single page of your website. Usually that's things like Google Analytics and Facebook code. And usually they will tell you to put some code in the header or in the body, at the top of the body, or the footer of the body. Now the next one is something called the Open Graph. I know a lot of people don't use this because they're not familiar with it, but I'm going to give you an example. This is something that you want when somebody drops in a link of your website on Facebook, on Twitter, in a text message or a chat or WhatsApp or iMessage or Skype or anything like that. And if you've noticed, when you drop a link in one of those softwares, like Facebook or Skype or something, it usually turns that link into what's known as rich text. And then what it does is it pulls an image from your website, and then it gives a description. Now, if you don't put any information here, what's going to happen is it's just going to pull the first image off your site and blow it up, and that might be your logo, and that's why it's going to look pixelated, or it just might grab any image that isn't the one that you necessarily want representing your brand, and it's going to pull the first bit of text off your website and use that as the preview. And you really don't want to do that. You want to have something looking very good, that if it's dropped into Facebook or Twitter or Skype, that it's almost like an advertisement or a billboard for your site. So let me give you an example of how that works. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a website called Canva, right? So I just typed in Canva, and you'll notice right here that it's pretty much just a login page with this image right here, and it says design anything, publish anywhere. So if we put that into Facebook, you would think that it would probably say something like design anywhere, publish anywhere, and load this image here. So let's find out. So let's go to Facebook and let's type in that URL and see what happens when we type in this link here and we hit return. Well, you'll notice they have a different logo here. Their brand here, it says empowering the world to design, and then it says some text that you didn't see on the website. Create beautiful designs with your team, use Canva's drag and drop feature, etc. So this is how you can control what happens when someone puts the link. Now I'm going to give you a little tip. The reason why I use Canva is because they're a great design tool. So let's head on over to Canva and let's actually see which. Okay, so now I'm here at Canva. I'm logged in. You can have a free account or a paid account. And what I would recommend is you just click on the YouTube thumbnail like this, and then you can choose one of their templates over here, and then you can just put your images in and type in your text or anything that you want here. They have different free and paid versions of these thumbnails, and I use many of these all the time. You can replace these images and the text, anything you want. When you're done, you would just click download the image, and then it would download to right down to your hard drive. And then when you're done, you would come over to here in Groove Apps, and you would load that image right up into your library. So something just like this here. And that goes to our downloads. I would take that design and I would load it up into my library just like that. Hit upload. And just like that, we have that image loaded in for our social graph. And then over here, I would put a title, whatever I would want for my website. And now we've just set up our rich text. Now, one more thing before we get started. You may notice that I'm using Chrome, and we recommend using Chrome for Groove Pages. We don't recommend using things like Safari, Internet Explorer, or Firefox. So again, using Chrome will give you the best results. But remember, Chrome, a lot of users have a lot of extensions, and sometimes these extensions can corrupt software apps that are working online. So we've found many times that there is not a problem with the app, it's a problem with the extension that is going on here. So what I recommend you do is you go to the Chrome Web Store and look up this extension called Disable Extensions Temporarily. I have it installed. You would just click install, and what that would do is it would look like this little power button right here. And just like this, I just click that, and all of my Chrome extensions just went off, and I'll have absolutely nothing that's working within the website trying to conflict with the builder. When I'm done, I simply click turn back on, and then I just drag this here like that. You see all my extensions are back. But for here, I'm going to shut them off so that I get a better experience. Okay, enough of that. Let's get to the exciting stuff. Let's build a web page. And as you can see here, it looks a bit empty. Okay, let's jump in and now let's build an actual page. In fact, an entire website. And this is going to get exciting. So the first thing we want to go over here is our blocks, elements, pages, and pop-ups. So let's talk about blocks. The first thing that we have here are wireframe blocks and premium blocks. And I'm going to click on all blocks here. And as you can see, the wireframe blocks are meant for you to be able to drag things over to the canvas just like this so that you can remove all of the colors and background images and you can just focus just on the layout of your website. And the premium design blocks are actual designer blocks. These are blocks that when you pull them over, they actually have images and designs so you can pick from different things and just pull them over and build a website then. So the choice is up to you, or you can mix and match. I'm going to delete this without having to write any code. Now, Groove Pages works on the concept of stacking predefined block sections to build fully coded and hosted web pages incredibly fast and easy. It's actually very natural and intuitive. And we're actually going to build a website, and here we go. Now, the first thing I want to do is I actually want to build all the pages on my site. So I'm going to go over here to Pages, and I'm going to click Add New Page and Websites for you. But let's just create a blank page from scratch. And when we click on these three dots here, we have some choices to edit the settings, set it as the home page, rename it, clone it, delete it, or hide it from navigation. So I'm going to show you some of these things. But first, let's make all the pages. So I'm going to rename this, and I'm going to call this the About Us page. Okay, I'll hit that check mark. Let's add another page. Let's call this the Contact page. Let's create another one. We're going to call this Media. Let's create another one. We're going to call this one Support. we're going to create now a page to give away our ebook. So we're going to call this one Free Ebook. And now we need a page for them to download that. So we'll call this Thank You Download. Now we have all the pages of our website that we want. Now at any time I can see what page I'm in by what's highlighted here, or I can just go to the menu and I can change my page here. And all these pages are blank. But I want you to notice here, this says primary navigation. So these are all the navigation links that are going to show up in my navigation bar. The thing is, I don't want people to actually see my ebook page on the navigation. So I'm going to put that here on hidden pages, just like that. And I drop that and I have that here. And I also certainly don't want them to see my download link, so I'm going to hide that from the navigation. And I'm going to put that here as well. And now I have my download page and my ebook page hidden from the navigation. All right, now let's put a navigation block up. Now when I go over to the blocks, I can either choose a navigation block here and just drag it over, or I can choose one from the prototypes. So I'm going to pull a prototype up just like this. I'm going to drag that over there like that. And if you notice, it said first link, second link, third link, fourth link, and fifth link. And it automatically just populated that based on my pages here. Now look at this. If I move my support above the media, it switches. And if I move it back, it goes just like that. Now, the other thing is, I don't want the media on my navigation. I wanted that to be a sub-navigation under content. So how would we do that? Well, you simply just indent this in like that. And now I have the media as a drop-down under context. All right, we'd have to see that functionality on a page preview. Okay, but that's pretty much how that works to just build a menu. Now, the other thing you're noticing is I have the logo here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click over to here. It opens up my style editor. Okay, I'm going to click on functionality. I'm going to click browse, and I'm going to look on my hard drive for a logo. And I'm just going to pull this Groove Pages logo here and just open that up. We're going to load that into my library here. And I'm just going to click select, and I'm going to click update, and that puts my logo in just like that. Now let's say I want to change the background of this entire section. What I can do is I can go here and just click on background, and we're going to have a full color picker here for you. But right now we have different shades of the color working like this. We're going to have a little thing to allow you to put in one of the 16 million colors. But let's assume I wanted to make this a color pink in the background like that. And I would do the same thing here with this menu section here. I would select the menu, and then I would change that background as well to pink, just like that. But I'm going to click on this undo button here, and we could always go back at any time and change things. Now I want to show you one more thing about these menus. The thing is, if I want to have an external link, right? Let's say my support, I want to go to my help desk, and I don't want it to actually go to a page on the website. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this page right here, because it's not really a page, right? It's maybe I'm using something like Zendesk, and I don't actually need a page for support. And now the support page is gone. But what if I want to link that to an external page and not necessarily a page that's on this website? Well, what we do is we go to this menu right here, and then I go to functionality, and what I can do is I can add an external link. And how many external links do I want? Well, if I put 2, then I get these examples here like this, but I just want one external link at this time. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put my help desk link in here, and I'm going to name it support. And I'm going to tell that to open in a new window, and I click update, and just like that, I now have an external link that'll now go to my help desk, where these actually go to pages within the website, and again, this goes to the external page. Okay, I'm going to open up the style editor and just let you know 2 things that will happen on every style editor. You will see here ways to change text, the background, the border, spacing, sizing, the shadow, and any custom CSS if you had a super web designer that wanted to do some ninja stuff. And anything that needs functionality like a pop-up or that menu or a countdown timer or a carousel, it will then have a functionality tab. Most things won't. Most things will only be design. Some things will have functionality if you need to add a link to it or upload an image, or this is dynamic based on the particular thing that you choose. There's a countdown timer, which we're going to display. You will get things that'll say pick a date and things like that. So let's close that and move on. Okay, so now I'm going to start building the website. And again, remember, we use blocks to just build the website. Now, I have all of these different types of wireframe blocks, which again, wireframes take all of the design out of it and let us just focus on the layout. And if I want, I can use the premium design blocks. Right now, we have about 75 of them, and in about a couple of weeks, there will be a couple of hundred, and then we already have about 1,000 on back order. And so you can expect, over a year, just in terms of blocks, we may have over 2,000 different blocks that are featured with tags and different ways to organize them, things like that. But right now, let's go. And let's see, I might want to put an alert bar up the top, right, with a little countdown timer. So I'm just going to drag that right above here like that. And just like that, we get our alert bar. So I'm going to choose a cover section here. And I'm going to choose this one right here. Kind of like the way this one looks. I'm going to drag it. Now, if at any time I feel that I put something in the wrong place, or I want to see how it looks in a different place, I can just grab the drag handle. And if I want to put it back, I just drag it back into position, just like that. So, next thing is I like to always put a footer in. So let's take a look. I have my wireframe footers, and these are all alphabetical. So I can look at a footer like this that I can just add any color to it that I want by dragging it down like that. Now I have a footer here. Or if I like, again, I can use one of these premium design footers and I can drag something over like that. Either one of those, all right? I'm going to delete this one here. I kind of like this colorful one. Let's continue to build the site out with some of these blocks. Let's add a call to action. I'll do something like here with a prototype block. Let's add another one the opposite way, like that. Let's add some features. Something like that, just there like that. Let's add some testimonials. Okay, I kind of like this one here, and this is what I would call a hero testimonial. I'll put that one right here, just like that. Okay, let's go back to the wireframes. Let's add some things like a contact us form. I'm going to show you how cool the Google Maps section is. So just put a map section in. We could order these things around later. Remember I told you, all we have to do is just grab these drag handles. We can position these things anywhere we like. But right now, we're just going to start putting the stacks. Let's put in a pricing form down here towards the bottom. Let's do one of these triple section pricing forms. Just like that. And let's put in a countdown timer. So I like this one with the round section. So just drop that in. Let's also put in a form over here. I'm going to put in this one just like that. And finally, we put in a team. Who's responsible for this company and those types of things. Basically, what we've done here is we've stacked all of the different blocks so that we can start designing the sites and adding colors. There's a couple more things that we can do here. Let me show you how we can now click on this block here, and I can click on functionality, and I can put in an address. And that's my old address in San Diego, and you'll see just like that, a map comes up with San Diego, just like that. Now that might be good if you want to put your map address in for your company or anything like that. Okay, let's move on. If I want to change the color of a section, I have a couple of different ways that I can do it. Number one, I can just take one of these prototype blocks here, and I can change the background section to match something like we have over here. Or we can just change that section completely to maybe be like white. Okay, and the same thing here. This section here, I can go here and I can see that it already has a background color. But if I wanted to change it to a dark shade of red, I would do something just like that. Now, the next thing I want to go over is what happens when you see with a lot of different editors out there, a lot of different softwares. You're always getting these grab handles. You're fighting with them. Well, don't worry. With ours, you simply click right here, and then it'll tell you where you are in what's known as the dome tree. And if it's not the one you want, you can just hit the up button, and it tells you the current one that you're in, or in the container. And if we want to move up to this one, I can either click on it or just move up. And now it shows me the parent frame to that. I click that, and now I'm in that frame. And if I want to work on this one, any of the stylings here, like again, change the background. This is going to look weird, but if I want to just change the background of this, I can do that. Certainly, I don't want to do that. And if I want to move up from this one, I just go like this, and now I'm in the very top section, just like that. So that's one of the things that you don't get with a lot of other softwares. You get these grab handles that you're always fighting with your cursor. With ours, you just click in. If it's not the one you want, you can just move up to it and go just like that. Okay, now I know I'm not building the most gorgeous site. I'm just picking random colors, but let's talk about changing the photograph here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this, and I know I'm in the right element. It says image, so I'm going to click on functionality. I'm going to click browse, and now I already have a picture of myself here, so I'm just going to click on this one, click select, and I'm going to click update, and just like that we see my picture here. Now if I wanted to change this one here, I would just pick on this one here, just like that, click on functionality. I have a second picture of myself here that I preloaded for this demo. I click select and update, and just like that we have our picture there. Okay, now let's talk about text. And when I see the text icon, that opens up this text editor for me, just like this, and I can start typing, just like that. And again,